Hello, I'm Jonathan, and welcome to the Tamworth FC Social, a podcast all about Tamworth Football Club. The Lamb's little losing run is over. Tamworth secured a majestic away win at Boreham Wood in the National League. We'll discuss all that and much more on this episode. Please do give this episode a like and subscribe to our YouTube channel if you enjoy what we do. Since our last episode, Tamworth Football Club confirmed the passing of groundsman Mick Lee. There'll be many of you who remember Mick down the Lamb, including us on this podcast. Our thoughts and condolences are with Mick's family and friends. Graham, let's talk about Saturday's win. Kind of result that for me kind of makes me think, well, I didn't see that coming at all.
No, I didn't see it coming at all. Yeah, I don't know. It came from nowhere, didn't it? There was bits and bobs of the Forest Green game on the Tuesday where I thought there's some positives that they can probably take from that, considering they were down to 10 men. And they worked very hard to not concede all those goals. But I mean, it was sort of almost inevitable in the end. But they also didn't play too badly. So maybe there's a little bit of confidence that they took into that Boreham Wood game. But I think for me, the game plan was absolutely spot on. I think tactically, that's the best performance I've seen from us all season in terms of how we set up. We'd obviously done our homework on Boreham Wood. And yes, they had a lot of possession, they had a lot of chances, but we were clinical for one, and we looked decent on the break. And the defence was good. It was an interesting one, really. When we went on 0 down, I thought, oh, here we go again. But yeah, we kind of rallied and we looked good. And when we did break, we weren't just hoofing it up the field. We were actually keeping the ball on the ground for once, which I think helps a lot. So yeah, I think it was a good performance, and just hope we can try and take some of this into the home games now a little bit more.
Trying to think, Brett, if there's been a better away win in the National League for Tamworth since promotion. Like, I think given where Boreham Wood are on the table, it's got to be one of the best at least.
Yeah, it was a very good win. Good goal to win it as well. It's a good finish from Duku. Good link-up play from front to back, really. Solid display from Jazz Singh. Two good goals in two games from Duku.
I was going to say as well, what do we think is the goal of the season so far? Because I would say the two Duku ones, very good goals, but very different goals. We talked, didn't we, after the Sutton win? The Duku goal there was a really good team goal. I'd say as well the Aldershot winner that Beck Ray scored was a very, very good goal as well. But are we more in favour of a long range effort or a well worked team goal, Graham?
For me personally, a well worked team effort is kind of where my head's at, and that's why I like that second goal straight from Jazz Singh, and I'm not sure who got the ball first. It might have been Ponticelli, I think, and then yeah, it was just instinctive. It clearly definitely worked on that. I don't think we've probably scored as many spectacular goals this season as what we did last season. There was a few brilliant ones from Shakuna last season.
I think the team goal against Boreham Wood, because for me, teams like Tamworth, it's great when you have an individual who can turn on, the style or can score screamers or whatever. But you're more reliant on solid team performances week in, week out. I think when you score a goal the way, the build-up and the way that it was scored, and the fact there was a very similar movement not too long before that goal, it just shows that actually, we can play football. It was just really, obviously, so, I wouldn't really use the word sublime, but it was so well linked from Singh out through, up, great ball from Ponticelli, and then good run from Minoru, and good vision as well to see Ducky coming in, and then great composure. You think back to the Beck Ray goal against Truro, first game of the season, that was a really good run and a great goal. But against an individual performance, you take Beck Ray suddenly away from that team if he was to no longer be there. If we were relying on those kind of moments to win us games, then suddenly where are your wins coming from?
That's a good point, actually, isn't it? Like, it's probably better in the long run that Tamworth are scoring these very well worked team goals I still think I'd say Aldershot, the winner against Aldershot, is my favourite so far, purely because I think it was one of the last kicks of the game, so deep into stoppage time, and like just the composure across the team to be like, no, we're gonna work our way up the field here and not rush it.
I think we've got some really good players that are good with the ball at the feet. You know, like Lynch was really his composure with that. He showed his professionalism with that goal. And obviously Beck Ray's really good at it with his feet, isn't he? And likes the ball to his feet as well.
Looking at the home and away league tables, Tamworth's away record is better than the home record, which imagine saying that 12 months ago. Some news that's been confirmed this week that Harvey Sayer has left Tamworth on loan.
Personally, I'm a bit gutted actually because I really like Harvey saying I think he can bring something different to a team. We've got a lot of wingers, so I guess somebody was going to get sacrificed. I could probably see that coming. Yeah, it's a shame he didn't go to a Conference North club or a Conference South club. That would have been good actually. I think it's good enough for the level. I think he just needs the opportunity. But I guess there's a lot of players that are sort of been keeping him out at the moment.
Looking to the rest of November, there are two more National League games left against more teams who will probably fancy their chances of being top seven by the end of the season. There's the home game against Rochdale on Saturday, and then an away trip at Carlisle at the end of the month. I would say as well, December's not easy on paper either. It's going to be probably the most important spell of the season, Brett, I would say.
I don't think really whatever points we pick up over this period of time will define our season. I think they're all just bonus points, that anything we get is a bonus, really. I do think what could end up defining our seasons are the poor performances that we had and the run up to this run of fixture. The Morecambe, the Boston, the Woking, they're the games that ultimately, when you look back, you go, well, that's cost us dearly there. I would like to think that if we can pick up another 3 to 5 points between now and the end of the calendar year, then we won't be looking really over our shoulders at all.
And what about you, Graham? Where are you kind of looking now? Where you look at the table? Are you looking still at playoffs, or are you still in the mindset of just being in this league as a success?
For me, I'm still like, let's just keep ourselves away from relegation zone. If we're still in this position after Christmas, by all means, then let's think about whatever we can do. We have to be realistic. We have to be.
Yeah, 100%. I'd agree with that. Either way, a 20th place finish is still a fantastic achievement.
Exactly. As long as we're in this league next season, that's all that matters. Whether we finish 7th or 20th, I think for me, that's all that matters.
Let's do our predictions for the rest of November then. In our mini league, I'll just do a little update on October. So, standings as of the end of October's fixture. So, Graham, you are propping up the table on 6 points. I'm in mid-table safety on 12, and Brett leading the way on 20 points. Couple of highlights. Brett, you correctly predicted the score at Aldershot, so well done you. But none of us predicted a defeat at home to Boston. So, Rochdale at home, I will go first. Given Rochdale a second in the league, with 2 games in hand on first place, and they have an absolutely brilliant away record, I am not feeling the most optimistic, so I'm going to say a 3-1 defeat for Tamworth. Graham, would you like to go next?
Throw the stats out the window again. I predicted the Boreham Wood win, so I'm gonna go Tamworth 1, Rochdale 0.
Brett?
2-0 to Rochdale.
And then seeing the month out in the National League for Tamworth is the trip to Carlisle. Similarly daunting task if you look at stats and things like that. Carlisle very good at home. Just 1 loss in the National League for them at home all season, I make it. Quite a long trip as well on a winter's weekend. So I'm actually going to give the same scoreline as I did for Rochdale, a 3-1 defeat.
This one, yeah, going to go something slightly similar. I think a lot of teams are going to get beaten there this season. If you get anything from there, then it's probably, yeah, pretty amazing. So I'm going to go, I'm probably going to go 3-0 to Carlisle.
Brett, any more optimism from your side for this one?
They are good, aren't they, at home? I think I'll go 3-0 Carlisle.
Brett doesn't want Graham making any ground on him in the predictions league table. Just before we go, I thought we'd just chat very quickly about the FA Trophy draw. Boston United at home for Tamworth in the next round. A familiar foe, given Tamworth lost to them very recently in the National League. Chance, Brett, for a bit of revenge to put things right?
Yeah, it's not very interesting though, is it?
It's funny, actually. Like, I'm fairly sure. So when we started this podcast, it's about, give or take a few days, 2 years now. I think the last Tamworth game before we did an episode was the Billericay away game in the FA Trophy, and because I went to that thinking, oh, we're gonna do a podcast like the next week or two about Tamworth and stuff. But yeah, it's kind of that's the kind of draw I think for me that's a bit more exciting, where it's like a team that you probably haven't played very often, if ever.
Liversedge the year before.
Oh, yeah, we went to that, didn't we, Brett?
We did. We had a good day.
Yeah.
Are you dreaming of FA Trophy glory this season, Graham? I mean, Aldershot won it last season and finished lower than Tamworth in the National League.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard. It's hard to get excited about it until it gets to about the quarterfinals, I think. That's the thing. It is hard to get excited about it because it could just get in the way. I don't know. It just doesn't have that, like Brett said, I don't really know. It just doesn't really have that same buzz as it used to. It's just a bit of another competition. But it really should, because actually, if you got there and won it, it's a day out and, Wembley and all that. So, I don't know, it's a bit of a slog to just like get to the latter rounds, it feels like, for some reason. So, of course, I want us to do well. Of course, I want us to do well. Let's, one game at a time in it with it. But I'd rather league form than trophy form, though. Someone said to me, top 7 or trophy final. I'd take top 7 all day.
We'll leave it there for this episode of the Tamworth FC Social. If you enjoyed the podcast, please do subscribe to our YouTube channel and give this episode a like. Until next time, goodbye.